Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our Digit series. As you know, we are now dealing with the third course module, and our course aims at supporting SMEs in internationalizing their business via very good and very well-practiced digital skills. And as you know, this third part of the course will deal with the topic of digital and hybrid events. So today we have with us Mrs. Flavia Morelli. Hi, Flavia.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. And Flavia is the Group Exhibition Manager at IEG, which is the Italian Exhibition Group. Flavia will tell you a bit more about her company after this short introduction. And well, this is a very well-known exhibition group, not only in Italy, but also especially in the last years, even abroad, not only in Europe, but abroad worldwide. So now I give you the floor, Flavia, and thanks a lot for being with us today. Hi.
Thank you, Raffaella, and thank you also to the Italian Chamber of Commerce for Germany to give us and to give me, on behalf of Italian Exhibition Group, the opportunity to share the experience that we are having in the digital transformation. So as you said, Raffaella, I am the Group Exhibition Manager of the Food and Beverage Division within Italian Exhibition Group. Just a few words about our company. We have been organizing trade shows and congresses and conferences for more than 70 years right now. And not only in Italy, we have two facilities, Rimini Expo Center and Vicenza Expo Center. So two facilities, two expo centers of, that we own and where we organize most of our shows. But as you said, we organize also shows in other parts of Italy and also in overseas markets. And we are specialized in B2B trade shows and in specific industries. One of these industries is food and beverage, but we also cover other industries like jewelry, like green economy, like wellness sports, like tourism and hospitality. And in the recent years, we have developed a challenging international program. And in fact, we are exporting our big brands also abroad. Well, let's talk about food and beverage sector. And so I would like just to share with you the portfolio of our brands in this industry. Just tell me, Raffaella, when you can see.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So you can see here the timeline of our top brands of the food and beverage industry. And the main one is CEGEP. CEGEP is the show B2B event dedicated to, let's say, the sweet side of the out-of-home market. Let's say gelato, pastry, chocolates, bakery, and coffee. So the offer is composed from ingredients, technologies, and equipment, all what is needed to make an artisan gelato, artisanal pastry and bakery products. And CEGEP in 2024 will be the 45th edition. So it's an historical show, very international. Certainly for the gelato sector is the most important in the world. And as you can see, we are exporting the brand CEGEP also in other markets. And the first step is in China, in Shenzhen, with a joint venture with Koelmesse. So link between Italy and Germany, as you see, Raffaella. And then also in Singapore, where we have both a trade show that was already held in that area. A part of our portfolio is also Beer Food Attraction and Bibite Expo. The two shows are focused on all the beverage sector, from beers up to soft drinks and mixology spirits and food combined with beverage. And IEG-EXPO is the parallel show dedicated to the upstream technologies for the production and the filling and packaging of beer and beverages. And then we also organize a forum, normally in September, dedicated to the trends and the vision of the food service sector. And you can see the brand Theo. Theo is the acronym for the Eating Out Hub, and it's the umbrella brand that underneath there are the other brands of IEG. So CJ, Beer Food Attraction, BB Tech, and the last one, Cosmo Food, which is held in our Expo Center in Vicenza, and which is focused on the area of the northeast part of Italy. So it's a macro-regional trade show. But if we talk about digital transformation, certainly CJEP was the trade show that most was, let's say, focused on the digital transformation, and also partly also Beer Food Attraction. So Raffaella, this is just to give you an overview of our brands, and then we can go into details in the digital transformation.
Yes, thanks a lot, first of all, Flavia, for this very clear overview. I guess it is indeed very important to know who you are and what you do, especially because among our listeners, we have a lot of SMEs in the food sector located more or less everywhere in Europe. So I guess this was a very good point to make clear who you are and what you do. And now I would start with the first question, which is related directly to the beginning of the pandemic. And it would be great if you, as an event organizer, could briefly tell us how you experienced being an event organizer at the beginning of 2021, where you were forced to cope with a completely new situation. This is my first question. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly the pandemic was very tough for everybody, every industry, and certainly the trade show industry was one of the most hit industries by the pandemic. And we succeeded in organizing the last physical edition of CJEP in January 2020, and also Beer Food Attraction could be held in February 2020. And then we all know what had happened. And so we tried to organize the CJEP in 2021. We postponed the period from January to April, and trying to organize an hybrid. So the term hybrid was coming on air, and so half digital and half physical. But then the situation was not positive to hold the show in a hybrid version, and so we were compelled to switch on a full digital event. And what happened within the company? Of course, in Italian Exhibition Group, already in 2018, 2019, we started a digital transformation. But certainly, because of the pandemic, this transformation was really accelerated, and we were compelled in a very short time to decide for the right digital platform that could enable us to keep in touch our communities in the different industries, because not only CJEP, of course, was involved, but other trade shows of our company. And so we switched the hybrid project in a full digital one, and it was organized in March of 2021, and the duration of the show was not the normal 5 days. Normally the show, the physical edition is of 5 days, but it was squeezed in 3 days. And we succeeded in attracting 250 exhibitors. And we succeeded also in cooperation with our international regional network, and also with the Italian trade agency to attract international buyers. And so what happened? It happened that through an app, a digital app, okay, each exhibitor could have its own digital profile, let's say digital booth, where they could present their products through pictures, through demos, through videos, and they could interact with the buyers that were interested to connect with them. And so more than, let's say, 10,000 meetings happened between the exhibitors and the international buyers. And of course, this was a very peculiar event. And of course, it was, let's say, one shot, one kill, once in your life, because let's cross the fingers that such a situation cannot repeat anymore. But it was important because our main objective was to keep the community together. Just remember what that period was also for the out-of-home market. So we are talking about the restaurant sector. So when all the bars, restaurants, gelato, pastry shops, coffee shops were closed, and so it was, and also the manufacturers were in a difficult situation to get in touch with the distributors and with the final consumer, so with the owners of the public premises. And so certainly the 3 days that we called IEG-EXPO as expanded, so it was an expanded edition, was important to maintain and keep the connections. Otherwise, too much time would have passed from the physical edition, which had an extraordinary success in January 2020. And then after this full digital edition, we prepare for the return in presence face-to-face edition for 2022. And so here you can see the main objectives for the exhibitors was to launch also new developments, new products, because just think that trade shows like CIGEP are an extraordinary platform, physical platform to launch new products. And without this physical platform, the single companies try to organize on their own how to interact and to get in touch with the customers. But certainly, thanks to a wider digital platform like IEG-EXPO, the companies could have more connections with their customers, and they could organize demos and workshops. As I said, we also invited international buyers, of course, linked digitally. And we directly also organized talks and demos and show cooking, because we organized 2 sets, like TV sets. One dedicated to talks talking about all the topics which were so hot topics of the industries, and so the vision for the future, how we could learn from this pandemic situation, how to react and how to emerge from this situation. And then on another set, which was in a professional school for cooking and gelato. And in that set, there were demos with the involvement of media partners, trade associations, with gelato chefs, pastry chefs, and so people and the operators connecting through their, also from their home, through their PC, could follow also demos, how to make a gelato, or could learn new recipes. And on the other side, they could follow talks talking about vision and trends. And meanwhile, they could get in touch with the single exhibitors through the digital profiles. So that was a very big, let's say, lesson for us, because in a very short time, we were compelled to learn a lot about the opportunities given by the digital technologies. But
yes,
sorry,
I couldn't hear. Yes, please.
Yes, and this big lesson we tried then in the following year, so in 2022, to exploit the experience that we had in this digital transformation, when we finally succeeded in returning face-to-face, because CIGEP, after the physical edition of January 2020, was organized again physically in 2022, but in March. We tried to organize it in January, but the situation was not still so good, and so they were difficult also for international buyers to reach Rimini, because there were areas of the world still closed, and so we decided to postpone it in March. So it was an hybrid edition, so certainly a face-to-face edition, a physical one, as we all know, with booths, with arenas, with a lot of events. But all what happened in our expo center in Rimini could be followed also digitally. So the physical booth of the exhibitors had also the digital version, the digital booth through the digital platform. And all the events, the physical events happening in the arenas, you know, Raffaella, that CJEP is full of events, talks, demos, show cookings, could be followed also from home or from the office or through the digital platform. And then we also decided to extend the length of the show 2 more days. So the show in 2022 came back to the normal length, that is 5 physical days. The latest 2 physical days were also open for the digital agenda. And then we gave the possibility of 2 additional days for the international buyers who couldn't come to Rimini to get in touch with the exhibitors. And so the exhibitors, of course, left the expo center, came back to their companies, and they could go on with the connecting and networking with international buyers. And certainly that was a very good experience for the exhibitors, because they could launch their new products, certainly on their physical booth in the expo center, but in a parallel way, they could make their products visible also for the international buyers who couldn't come. They could also organize streaming demos and workshops, and their sales manager could have connections through the digital platform. So certainly welcoming customers on the physical booths, but in the same time they could have connections with the customers connecting through the app. Then they were just to give you the idea how, I mean, the full edition, the full digital edition of 2021 then was, let's say, a very an extraordinary occasion for us to learn in a very short time all the potentialities of the digital technologies. Certainly what we learned, and also our customers learned, that physical trade shows will never die although the pandemic. I mean, the face-to-face meetings will never be replaced completely by the digital dimension. But certainly now I cannot think a trade show without the support of the digital dimension. Okay, so also we organize the 2023 edition in January. So in 2023, finally we succeeded in bringing back CJEP in the right period of the year, in the right period for the market, which is January, because it's a B2B show, and so January is the right time for this industry to present the new products. And also this physical edition that had an extraordinary success, like the pre-pandemic edition, but it was different because it was also extended, it was also supported by the digital dimension. But what happened, Raffaella? Now the physical edition is certainly supported by the digital dimension, but with a different objective. The digital technologies can support to better organize the physical encounter, the physical meetings. Why is this? Because a few weeks before the opening of the trade show, and that didn't happen before, the exhibitors can prepare their digital profile, let's say this digital catalog. They can insert their products, picture, videos. They can also insert the program of events that they organize in their physical booths. And when we open, let's say, the digital show, the digital platform to the visitors can see the exhibitors that they will find in the Expo Center. They can see previously also the new products, the events. They can get appointment with them, so they can prepare their visit in a more specific way. And also during the show, they can use the app, the digital app, to visit the halls and the exhibitors in a more organized way. And then most of the events are also visible by streaming, and we make it possible also to be seen after the show. And this is possible for people that couldn't come to Rimini, but also for all the visitors that came to CIGEP, since CIGEP is a very, very big show. And Raffaella, you know the dimension of CIGEP. It happens most of the times that visitors can have meetings with the exhibitors, can follow 2 talks, see 1 demo, and then they go home, but they lose half of the trade show. Thanks to the digital platform, they can follow, for example, a talk discussing the topics of their interest that they couldn't follow, for example. So you see, this digital extension beyond the 5 physical days certainly expand the business, expand the networking. So this is really, really useful.
Yes, definitely. Thanks, Flavia. Thanks a lot for your contribution. I guess really we are talking about a best practice, at least in the European market, because it shows on the one side the resilience. So you had to adapt to new circumstances in a very short amount of time. You could make the best out of it because it was not just a digital platform, but as you said, you've tried to create some events to put up a TV set, basically, where you could try to give at least, if not in exchange, but probably a placebo for the usual sensory experience visitors have when they come to your shows in the food sector. And on the other side, you could also make the best out of this digital experience by taking it in the next editions of your shows. So it is not very common to find both these factors together. Usually you have just one of them. So it's even from our side, since we know each other we have been knowing each other for many years. Congratulations for all these steps. That would be all from my side. And a big thanks to you and for everybody who's listening. You know, you will have the chance to get all the contacts of both of Flavia and of the food events she represents, in case you find them interesting, you want to visit them or to exhibit there. So thanks a lot, Flavia, once again, and thanks everybody.
Thank you. Thank you to you, Raffaella, and everybody. Thank you.